There you go.
Welcome to the John Jay College Criminal Justice Graduate Power Interview Series, sponsored by the Department of Public Management. I am Yvonne Purdie. I am your host for today. With me today from the Department of Public Management is Dr. Sara Belligoni. I hope I got the name right. I know you're practicing. She is new to John Jay, so I want to especially welcome her to our campus today. She has been here since about September.
Oh, yeah, end of August, September. Yeah, just started.
Right, so she's brand new, so she's going to offer us some insights in her emergency services administration career and that major, and she's going to let us know what she thinks about John Jay College and our students since she's been here. So welcome, Dr. Belligoni. So tell us about yourself and what inspired you to teach in the emergency services field, and what do you enjoy most about being part of the John Jay College community?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Yvonne. Much appreciated. So my name is Sara Belligoni, and I'm currently an assistant professor of emergency management in the Department of Public Management here at John Jay. And I would say that emergency management has been with me since I started college. So I'm originally from Italy, and just a few months before that I was supposed to start college, very big earthquake hit central Italy, the city of L'Aquila, and the chaos of the response, the very long recovery process for the community is what motivated me in going for an emergency management major. So I switched from, being supposed to do nursing school. I have started off with more like of an emergency management focused major, and eventually I wanted to do that because I wanted to avoid seeing that chaos, the long recovery that I've seen with the L'Aquila earthquake. So everything started there. And like the passion that I have for this field is what I try to communicate to my students. And I'm lucky that many of them are practitioners, and so they have some exposure to what being a practitioner in emergency management means. And what I love the most about John Jay, and I really wanted to be part of the community, is the fact that it's a very diverse community. Diverse in both the student body, the professors that you can collaborate with. And I think, this is a reflection of what New York City is. So being, part of the CUNY system, we are also part of like a big, diverse, vibrant city like New York. So for me, the opportunity to mentor students that come from different backgrounds, that might be first generation students like myself, and sometimes might be the only ones that feel like they look like themselves in a room. It's what really makes a difference. So
have you adjusted to the weather here in New York?
I'm getting there, but I would say I'm originally from Rome, and it can get quite cold over there too. So,
okay, yeah, I was just curious about that.
Absolutely.
So it is exciting to hear about your change in your career based on the fact that you witnessed something as severe as an earthquake. So since you started teaching, what have you found the most rewarding about being a teacher or sharing knowledge?
Yeah. Oh, it's rewarding to see how the students explore their potential throughout, their college experience, but even within a semester. So there's a moment when, you start to kind of like discuss more the applications of, what's in the textbook, and that's something that clicks. So you see that spark in the students is like, oh, this is actually, what I can use in the real world. That this is something that, oh, maybe it's related to something that I've seen in my career. So that moment, it's absolutely rewarding. But I would say that the other important thing for me is to see also the students sometimes find the exact path that they want to go for. And kind of like you see them starting to look for opportunities, internships, besides the classroom. And I think this is one of the best things, because being able to also open doors for them that no one else has, and connect them with other people within Georgia, CUNY, or even within like the city of New York, the emergency management system. It's a great opportunity as a teacher. And I always say that, if I can shape for the good, even just one student career path, I succeeded in my career as a teacher too.
In listening to you, I can see the passion in your voice when you talk about teaching and emergency management and how rewarding it is with you being in the classroom and assisting students. So in your teaching, what challenges have you noticed that your students face?
Yeah.
You have many challenges, some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that one of the first ones is that in this period of time, we do have a new generation of first generation students. So most of them have really no one in their family that could advise them on the complex college experience, or even how to take full advantage of the college experience. And therefore, when that's the case, I am glad to be that mentor for them. So besides being a teacher, I really want to be a mentor for them and kind of like help them navigating all the coursework and this and that. And whenever I don't have an answer, I can be that hub for them that connects them to the right people. But I also say that lots of our students either work part-time or full-time, which also translates sometimes in having, family, being caregivers, and being, limited in the time that they can dedicate to their education. So that's something we have to take into considerations as teachers, which is why I'm a big fan of giving them, as many practical, applicable information during my lectures, and get them exposed to the research. So then even just a simple assignment kind of like helps them think critically, getting those research skills. And I think that helps also because they might feel that their time is dedicated to something meaningful, something that can translate in publications, and something that they can use in work, job applications. And so that's why I'm a big fan of less is more. I rather prefer having like strong, usable assignments that they can use later on versus, eventually like lots of assignments that, just stay within the classroom. So, yeah.
You mentioned that you're a first generation student. Did you have mentors along the way that assisted you?
I had mentors within my college path, but I would say that also my mom played a key role, because she was the one that really wanted me to go to college and succeed. And she really offered me all the support, advice, brainstorming that I needed. So I was really, really lucky. And then I was lucky because I'm a product of, public schools. Because in Italy, I studied in public universities, and I found those teachers that, were also at that time first generations. And so they also guided me. And eventually, even when I got my PhD here in the US, I was in a public university, and I got phenomenal mentors, both as a PhD, as a postdoctoral scholar. And so especially my, last advisor, it was the one that really showed me not only how to be a great researcher, but what skills I needed to become a professor. And so he showed me that. So I could be just around him and being a sponge, see what he was doing. So I'm always grateful to Dr. Rivera for that.
Wow. So it's very important for our students to find mentors in their path.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good. That's great advice. What skills and knowledge do students obtain within the Emergency Service Administration major? And how do they go about getting these skills?
Yeah, I think that, the good thing is that there's lots of interdisciplinary coursework available within John Jay. So they get the foundations on emergency management, disaster science, but they can also expand their knowledge more with coursework on decision making, leadership in public administration, crisis communication. So I think that the opportunity to complement the very traditional emergency management coursework with this other coursework, it's a phenomenal skill for them to get. So then they become, better leaders in this field. They're able to advance their career if they're already practitioners, since for some of the emergency services careers, you need a bachelor degree, a master's degree to advance your career. And I think that this 360 preparation is what really makes a difference for them.
That's very good. I've noticed that many of the Emergency Services Administration students also minor in public administration, because the two goes hand in hand. And I even have met with one student who has a double major in the two. So that's really exciting. So good. Thank you very much. This is just some good insights for the students. Where do students end up working after completing the Emergency Services Administration major?
Yeah, so I mean, I could see them that are taking on positions both in the private and public sector, but also in the not-for-profit field. And I would say that many are really motivated in, serving the city of New York. So staying within the emergency management, resiliency, FDNY and YPD. So they really bring their expertise that they gain at John Jay, to serve the city, to serve the people of our city. So I think that's, the first kind of main sector in which they work. And the other students, the other sector is also the federal government. So some of them are interested in taking more positions in federal agencies related to emergency management. And I would say that that's also a very good career path, especially if you get exposure to the emergency services world in New York City. And just yesterday, some students and I were visiting the Emergency Management Office of Emergency Management in New York City. So we had the opportunity there to learn more how the agency is structured. And one of the main advice that, those that gave us the tour gave us was exactly get exposure, within the city of New York into the public administration world. So even if you get an internship in, maybe an agency of the city of New York, which is not necessarily the one of emergency management, still get that exposure, learn more about how the city works and all of that. So I think that if students get and take advantage of these opportunities, then they can serve in city, state, federal roles with no problem.
So our students should definitely take advantage of our internship programs and opportunities to volunteer, and they can just go to these agencies and visit them on their own, can't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm always happy to, push for these field visits where, students can interact with those that could be their future colleagues, the future employers. So I'm always happy to facilitate that because I think that also positions us at John Jay in a very good way to give students the skills, the network that they need, because the network is key. That's what I always tell my students, like network, get to meet people, because you never know, what that can lead to. So.
Absolutely. Network is key. Okay. So what do you think makes John Jay College students unique and sets them apart from others?
Well, I think two things. One is definitely being part of the CUNY system because it makes you part of a 26 college kind of system. So that gives you opportunity to work with faculties in a variety of programs, access resources, programs that, it's kind of like no other. And I think that what really makes our students very competitive, I would say, in the job market too, is the opportunity to again get this interdisciplinary background and being able also to be exposed to research. The reason why this is, I think, is very important is because research, even though you won't become necessarily like a researcher, a scientist, it really boosts your critical skills and makes you think in a very innovative way. So I think that our students bring into the workforce innovation, expertise, dynamism, and those are things that in the emergency management fields, but even beyond in other fields, is really setting them apart. So, yeah.
You answered your answer just answered the next question that I'm going to ask you, and that is, what advice would you give students who are considering completing this major in emergency services administration?
Well, for sure, engage in research. So doing research, it really opens so many doors and it's fun. It's fun. The research process is fun. And the other thing is always like, again, find a mentor, find someone who truly cares about you growing, in your academic professional career and not being afraid to ask questions. Like, I love when students ask me questions and are curious and want to learn more. So I don't take it as a bad thing. So never be afraid to do that. Take advantage of office hours with professors. Stop by after class. Like always engage in conversations with most of us that simply have a little bit more experience and can advise. But I would say that one other very important thing is to pick your focus. That's something that for me was really helpful. Like within the emergency services, pick what's really important to you. Like, do you want to focus on policy making? Do you want to focus on planning? Do you want to focus on more like the research side? Any type of like subfields, like it can be even like you are interested in climate resiliency, you are interested in like data visualizations, all of that. Pick your focus, because if you are focused, you can better structure your coursework, so your plan of study. You can also target eventually like professors, faculties that you want to work with because they are within your subfield of interest. And eventually all the experiences from, again, the field visits, internships, and all of that, you can actually focus them on your focus. So once you graduate, you are an expert and you can show that you are an expert in that specific field. So I think that positioning you as a very specific sort of like professional figure in today's job market really pays off, because we have so many generalists, but we need the people that are really experts in something that, it's currently a hot topic. So
we can really tell the passion that you have for this
thank
major
you.
and for the students at John Jay College. I always tell the students to get to know your faculty, Go to their offices, go take advantage of the office hours, because when you're ready to ask for that letter of recommendation for graduate school or for a scholarship, they need to know something about you.
Yeah.
They need to be able to say more than you sit on the front row in my classroom. So yes, I see that you feel the same way about them coming to the office. So
Yeah.
that's great news and advice. So I'm going to ask you something that you probably haven't thought about in a very long time. So think back to when you were a freshman going to college. What is the one thing that you wish you had known then that you know now?
I would say that I wish, especially at the very beginning, that I would pay more attention, like I would dedicate more time to enjoy the process. So sometimes I felt that I was just like rushing to get that assignment done, or like for us, I mean, at least the Italian college system, we do a lot of oral exams. So we really have to kind of like read these big textbooks and then go for an oral exam, or maybe like a midterm, something like that. And so everything was revolving around that. So I wish that, like someone told me like, hey, enjoy the process, like enjoy the learning process. So that's why, like that's what I try to do with my students. I'm like, yes, you have to have the theoretical foundations. You need to know what the textbooks is saying. You need to come to class and, listen to the lecture, then engage in the conversations, but enjoy the process. Set some time apart when it comes to like, do a little bit of research and sit down with that paper and read through that. So that I think it's something that I hope my students will get with my classes, with the classes at John Jay. Take their time, enjoy the process. Don't rush just for like, oh, I need to get these assignments done. So
I like that. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. I'm going to start repeating that to students. Make sure you enjoy the process.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for being here with me today. This concludes our interview. I'm so excited to have you in the Department of Public Management. Our students will gain a lot of knowledge and good information for you. So again, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. To our audience, I want to say thank you for tuning in again for the Graduate Power interviews. Please stay tuned. I will let you know when this will be available for everyone to see. And if you have a story to share, if you have a professor that you want us to highlight, please let me know, and we will try to feature them on our Graduate Power interview series. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thanks for what you do for our students too.
Oh, you're welcome.